So welcome to a new video on my second channel, A Life of Nomad. So here I am again, discussing and talking about why this channel hasn't moved any further since the last video. And I just wanted to talk about a few things today, but there's mostly one topic, and you'll probably see that within the title, and it'll get you curious as to why I'm making this video in the first place. So through this channel, I'm generally quite open, quite honest about my journey, about me being me, the things I get up to, and how I feel on a day-to-day basis. And one of the things I really struggle with over the years, especially when it comes to starting things that are new, is the constant feeling of being overwhelmed. I wake up in the morning and I just constantly feel like I'm back in this overwhelming place where I can't do anything. It's completely debilitating, and I just can't seem to get any motivation to get going, to do anything, to get up. Sometimes just getting out of bed is tough. Sometimes getting to the office is tough. Sometimes getting to sit down and just make a video is tough. Like, I might have 2 or 3 videos on this channel now talking about when I'm gonna start this new process of making videos. And I also have that on the Nomad channel, where I've over the years made videos about plans for the channel, what I'm gonna do, and never actually doing it. It's a real problem. So, to get into the thick of it, I have just been diagnosed with combined adult ADHD, a late diagnosis. It seems to be quite common and untreated in a lot of people. And getting into how I found out about adult ADHD and undiagnosed ADHD. I came across a video a couple of months ago, and it felt like the person in the video was talking about my life. Now, I've always felt different, is the best way to put it. I've always felt chaotic. Brain is non-stop, 24/7. It's almost just like this constant noise in there, which is a good thing at times because I have a lot of ideas. I'm quite creative. I like to, come up with plans and concepts and designs and whatever it may be. But yeah, when I saw what these people were talking about, I was like, oh my God, it all makes sense. So ADHD is something that I never knew much about. I think it's quite a common story that people think about the naughty kids, the hyper kids in school who are just chaos, and it doesn't always work out to be that way. That's why a lot of people, women, men, go untreated, undiagnosed for a long time. Something I was terrible at was school. I could not concentrate, I could not focus, I was really bad. I wasn't stupid, but I could not concentrate. I would daydream, taking homework late, and all these things to do with ADHD is, it all just kind of makes sense alongside the depression, being overwhelmed, rejection, sensitivity, emotional regulation, short bursts of anger, just not being able to control how I feel and how certain situations make me feel. And because no one's ever said to me, have you ever blah, 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 thought about ADHD? I've never thought ADHD could be a thing that I've got. But now, when I look back on it, it explains every single aspect of my life. Especially from the point where I stopped cutting hair full time behind the chair, because up until that point I had a full-time job where I was active, I was moving my hands, and I was exhausted by the time I get home every day. As soon as I moved away from that, the shift focused onto computer work, managing my own time, doing stuff in the office, and I've literally wasted years procrastinating. Motivational problems are just ongoing every day, just persistent, and I just thought, like, I have a lot on, like, I've got loads of things I want to do, and it's too much, and I just thought this was normal. I just put it down to it being normal. But Me as a person, I'm just constantly running around like a headless chicken. I'm constantly losing things. I'm walking around, getting distracted by one thing, starting that, and it's like I've got 50 million unfinished projects, which could be, cleaning up the dishes. Then I get distracted by doing the hoovering, and then I'm back onto work, and then I'm back on, working on my van, and then I'm working on something for the shop, and then I'm working on the products, and I'm constantly just going in the cycle of unfinished products, seeking out extra dopamine hits from different tasks, which involve me, using my hands or getting things finished, but never actually finishing the task that I mean to start. So this is the start of my ADHD diagnosed journey, and this is one of the reasons why I really struggled just getting things started within this channel, within my life, and progressing. So I do think it's a really common thing nowadays to say ADHD traits, and that's something I've probably said in the past, and a lot of people definitely do say. And it's easy to see that because so many people have short attention spans now with social media and video platforms where you're just scrolling and flicking through, and if you don't get that hit after like 4 or 5 seconds, then you just move on. So once I started to really recognize what ADHD symptoms were, I realized where it had been affecting my life over the past 37 years without even knowing it. It's been really affecting me. Depression, anxiety, anger, like I said before, managing money, leaving things to the last minute, the ability to do extracurricular activities like courses. Like I started a course last year, done one assignment on it, and I've just left it. Things like social situations which I avoid because I find it really kind of overwhelming to an extent when I've got a lot of noise going on around me and I'm unable to focus on the thing at hand, like people talking to me, cutting people off, bothering people on shoots, being burnt out, just constantly burnt out. So with some of the big shoots and events that I do with Statement and other brands in the past, I've definitely killed myself on one day, and then the next day I'm completely overwhelmed and just crash out completely. I've got no energy at all. So these things I just thought were normal, absolute normality. The noise in my head, I thought that was normal. Turns out it's not. I just thought everyone else had 1,000,000 thoughts per second. I thought everyone else struggled to sleep because they had all those thoughts and things rushing through their head. Turns out they don't. I mean, obviously people do struggle with sleep, but so these things, jaw clenching, teeth grinding, just constant anxiety, it's just been triggering me for the past my whole life. So it's all new. This is now my life, but at least I feel like having a diagnosis allows me to start to navigate my life differently and see how things can be improved via other means like medication, therapy, setting up my day-to-day like a little bit differently and setting tasks a little bit differently compared to what I usually do, which is really I kind of overwhelm myself with the things that I kind of set out myself to do and then never get it done, and then I get disheartened because I don't do it and I feel like a failure. I think that's low self-esteem with ADHD is a big thing. People might look at me and not realize I have ADHD because in certain situations I might not seem like I do, but there's different types. There's hyperactive and inattentive, and I have combined, so I have traits of both. I feel like maybe I simplified the whole ADHD thing as well. There's a lot of other things that people may have as traits. Impatience, driving, people are talking at work, in queues, fidgeting, getting up, can't stop and be still. Doing things which make you feel like you're driven by a motor. just like a battery pack in your back, and you just can't stop. Getting obsessed and like having tunnel vision when it comes to doing certain tasks. All these things are kind of traits that, if you do have some of them, you may benefit from looking into it a little bit more. But yeah, I didn't know a lot about ADHD in a lot of respects. So yeah, here I am. Next steps. So in the UK, I did join the right to choose pathway, which is via the GP, where you will go on a waiting list and they'll externally recommend you to a psychiatrist to get assessed. Lo and behold, I'm very impatient, as ADHDers are. So I decided to go down the private route with a company called MyPace. So I'm thinking about maybe documenting the journey a little bit on this channel as well, because it is part of my life now. I have decided to try medication to see if it can help me, because literally the past few months I've just had weeks and weeks where I've just not been able to do anything. Sitting in front of the desk, a million things to do, a million things to plan, and I just can't get going. I'm just busy, overwhelmed, and I just can't do anything. So I will be titrating on a medication called Elvance. It's called Vyvanse in the US. It is a stimulant medication. So I'll be interested to see the differences in my working day to day. I'm just hoping it can allow me to get some focus with the things I struggle with. Hopefully I'll be doing a little bit more on this channel around that, and showing you a little bit more of my life, which is at the moment imperfect. A lot of things as well I struggle with getting things going is trying to make everything perfect. I think I talked about it in the last video, trying to find the perfect time or the perfect space, or getting the room to look perfect to film it, when in all aspects life is not perfect, so we should embrace that a little bit. And when it comes to my workspaces, they tend to just be absolute chaos. There's things piled up, there's piles over there, and I realize that it's a thing that if I don't see it, I will forget it. Like, I literally have to put things by the front door, otherwise I'll forget them. I'll buy things and leave it in a cupboard, and I won't see it for 3 years. So that's it. So I'm hoping that my life will improve with the medication, as well as like mixing it up with therapy and stuff like that. So the process goes: when you go private, you get assessed, pre-assessment forms, assessment, consultation to do with meds, titration period, which is 4 weeks, where you'll try the medication, and if it works for you, great, you hopefully moved on to a shared care with the NHS in the UK. If not, you will go down the route of titrating again with a different medication if you want to go down that route. So yeah, I'll be going down that journey, and hopefully it will benefit my life. And hopefully I can get the videos I've been planning for the past 5 years going on this channel, as well as my travel vlog channel and my normal barber channel. A lot of ideas, a lot of things, just don't have the focus and ability to get things going, with too much procrastination and too much negative thoughts going on in my head about putting certain things out into the world. So follow along for this journey, my ADHD adult combined ADHD journey.